Rejection of the truth, Jesus is Lord.
God is an all-consuming fire, burning away all false desires.
Yeah, he's gonna burn it away, the holy furnace ablaze.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard somebody trying to encourage you or somebody else by telling them that we walk by faith, not by sight? That Paul told us that we are to walk with faith and forget about trying to see anything, answer prayers or whatever. Well, the problem is that's not what Paul actually meant. And I'm not an expert in Paul. I just read his words. His context in which he said these words are actually much more discouraging than encouraging. He's not trying to lift us up and remind us to live by faith, but he's actually speaking from a heart longing to be with his Lord, where he can see him. Let me show you what I mean by starting in verse 1 of chapter 5. For we know that if the tent that is our earthly home is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this tent we groan, longing to put on our heavenly dwelling, if indeed by putting it on we may not be found naked. For while we are still in this tent, we groan, being burdened, not that we would be unclothed, but that we would be further clothed, so that what is mortal may be swallowed up by life. He who has prepared us for this very thing is God, who has given us the Spirit as a guarantee. I won't go into the depth of what he's saying, but basically, you kind of see it yourself. He's longing to leave this mortal body and to be with Christ. And when he talks about being naked, he probably means this intermediate state where we are still in spirit, but not yet in glorified bodies. That's happening in the New Jerusalem, which it's not now. But basically, these couple of verses, it's all about this desire to be with the Lord, and the Spirit in us giving the assurance that that's going to happen. We are going to be with him. Now he continues by saying, so we are always of good courage. We know that while we are at home in the body, we are away from the Lord. For, here's why he means that we are away from the Lord while we're in the bodies. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Yes, we are of good courage. And we would rather be away from the body and at home with the Lord. So in the context, what he's actually saying is we're stuck to living by faith and not by sight. But what we want, what we desire is to leave this walk of faith in a human body and instead be with the Lord and see him. This verse 7 of chapter 5, it's more of a groaning to actually to see the Lord. Not miracles. It's not about miracles either. It's about seeing the Lord, leaving these bodies and being with him. But for now, we have to keep being in faith. We see him through the eyes of faith. So verse 7 is really like I said, a cry of discouragement. I have to keep seeing the Lord in faith and not with sight, but very soon, I'll get to see the one I love face to face. And that's what this passage is about, longing for the sight and not have to be by faith anymore. Do not forget that, brothers and sisters. Even though we are called to live by faith and God honors our faith, our greatest desire should be to be with him and to see him and to enter in these glorified bodies and enter the New Jerusalem and be with him forever. With that said,
Somebody come on.
The Lord in the mountains and rocks to be falling. Please don't refuse the one who's calling you.
He's calling you. He's warning you. What you gonna do?